We're going to make the passenger section of this Automoblocks car today. So in Inventor, we're going to start a new part file. And when I start the new part file, I'll basically create this base, and then we'll go from there and do some extrusions. So in Inventor, let's start a 2D sketch on our XY plane. And I know that my base is 3.17 by 3.17. I can see that here on the plans. So I'm going to make a rectangle that is 3.17 by 3.17. I'm going to start at the origin, and remember I can just type in my measurements, and then I can type or hit the tab key. And when I hit the tab key, move this so you can see that. When I hit the tab key, it's automatically giving me the other one also, and then I'll hit enter. And I'm going to zoom out of this so that you can see that entire thing. So I've created the base of the passenger section. I'll hit finish sketch, and again I'll zoom out so you can see it. And now I want to extrude that. So I'm going to extrude that base, and the height of this base is over here on the plans. It's 1.53 inches. So I'm going to do it at 1.53. So I've got the basic shape of the passenger section. So the next thing I'm going to do is you can tell that these corners, these edges on our passenger section are actually rounded and not square. They're not real hard corners, and that's something in Inventor called a fillet, and we want to fillet those edges. So if I look back at the detail on my on my drawing, I can see here that the radius of the fillet is 0.30, and it's saying 4 times 0.30, and that just means that this edge is 0.30, this edge, so there are 4 edges that are going to have a radius of 0.30. So I want to do that. That's all of these long edges here on our passenger section. So we're going to, under modify, click fillet, and I want to click this one, and that one's going to be 0.30, and I can hit enter. And then I want to do this long edge also. So again, another fillet here. I can turn that cube around so you can see that. Fillet that 0.30, and then I'll turn the cube and do the same thing on the other 2 edges. I can actually click both of those at the same time, and that'll be 0.30. So I've got all of my rounded edges now. And then we can go ahead and make this stripe. It really doesn't matter what order we do. I'm probably going to go ahead and make this hole here. So I want to start a sketch here on the top. So start a 2D sketch right here on the top. And I need to make a hole that's from this edge to this edge is 1.98. And then also the width of that is 1.59. So I need another rectangle that is 1.98 by 1.59. Now that is how big the hole is, but we don't have the location of the hole set correctly. So in order to set the location of the hole, I need to use the dimensioning tool. So that's under constrain, and there's the dimensioning tool. So from this edge of the hole to the edge of the rectangle, looks like that is a 0.5. So I'm going to say from this edge out here to this edge, and then I drag up my cursor, and that is 0.50. And then I also need to set it from the front to the back, and it looks like that is, make this bigger so I can see it. Looks like that dimension is 0.82. 0.82. So let me set this back to 100% and minimize it. So again, I'm going to hit the dimension tool. So from this edge to the front and drag it out to the side is 0.82. So now my hole is in the correct location. I know how big my hole is, and then I had to dimension it so that it would be in the correct location. So I'm going to finish sketch, and now I need to extrude that hole that I just made. Now instead of it going out, I want it to go in, and I want it to cut. So on my extrusion tool, I chose the second one, which is cut. If you look over here at the plans, it's 1.07. So I'm going to change that to 1.07 and hit OK. Now also notice in this hole that these corners here are also rounded, so we'll need to fillet those 0.20. So I'm going to modify those corners. So this one, and I might have to move my cube so that I can see those. So this one, and this one, and I need one more of those. This one right here, and notice it went to 0.3, which is the last one that we used, so we needed that to be 0.20. So now those corners are rounded. So I've made that top hole. Now I need to make the side hole, so I can turn my cube. I'm going to make this hole here now. So I'm going to start a sketch right on the front, and again I'm going to make another rectangle. This time my rectangle is 2.4 by 0.93. 2.4 by 0.93. So I'm going to create a rectangle right here, just anywhere there. That is 2.40 by 0.93. Again, that hole is not in the right location, so we're going to have to constrain that with the dimensioning tool. And if we look over here, this edge of the hole to the edge of the passenger section is 0.39. So I'm going to dimension this edge to this edge, and it's 0.39. And then I also need to dimension it top to bottom, so it looks like from the top to the top edge, if I follow those lines out, it's 0.30. So from here to here is 0.30. And now I can finish the sketch. And again, I'll need to extrude that in so that I can create a hole. So I'm going to click my extrude button. Again, I want to cut that, And this time that looks like the distance is 0.57. So I'll change that to 0.57 and hit OK. Alright, and then also those corners are also filleted at 0.20. So I'll come over here and fillet my corners. That one. And then also, I can't see that because that's in the way. See if I can move that. This one. And then this one up top. And this one on the top, and those are already 0.20, and I can hit enter. Okay, so I've got the top and the bottom, or top and the side hole, or the front hole, and now I'm going to create this little strip, and it's telling me here to see the detail. So I'm going to have to scroll down on my plans and try to find that detail. And here's the detail on it. Right here. So this tells me that it's got a depth of 0.06 and also a height of 0.06. So I'm going to create just on the side here, it's also 0.30 down from the top, which is actually lines up kind of right in line with that. So I'm going to create a sketch just on the side over here, and it's going to be another rectangle. And that rectangle, notice how I have a green dot. I want to make sure that I'm right on the edge of this line. So I've got a green dot, and I'm going to click and drag all the way until I get a green dot over here as well. Let me move this so you can see it. Also maybe zoom in on that. So let's create a rectangle again. So here all the way to there. I don't know if you can see that behind my toolbar, that there's is definitely it's lit up there. So I need that to be, move this toolbar thing out of the way. Toolbar's kind of in my way. Let's try to move this toolbar here. Okay, let's try one more time. Here's the rectangle. And I want to go from here all the way to here. And it's 0.06. And then the distance will be 3.17. And I'll hit enter and finish that sketch. And then I'm going to put that toolbar back on. May not be able to find it here. Okay, so alright, so now I'm going to put that toolbar back on. Okay, so our toolbar's back on now. I'm going to zoom back in. So I'll be ready to now extrude again on that little rectangle that I just made. Again, I want to cut it in, and remember on this detail it only goes in 0.06. So I want to change that over here to 0.06 and hit OK. And that same thing is also on the other side. So we can turn this around Now what we and we can create that same rectangle on the other side. So I'm going to create a rectangle over here. I'll pan that over, and I'll create a little rectangle starting it right there to there. It's 0.06 by 3.17. Finish the sketch, extrude it, but cut it in 0.06 and hit OK. So now this entire passenger section is created, and the only thing I need to do now is create the hole on the other side of the passenger section. Now this hole and the one in the back look like they're the same, but they're actually a little bit different measurements. So we're going to create a sketch back here that for this other hole. So we're going to zoom in on that. And I'll kind of get this out of the way of my toolbar. So I'll be ready to create a rectangle. And this rectangle is 2.5 by 1.0. So a lot of times when I don't know if as I'm dragging around you can kind of see that it's highlighting things that are behind there. I really want to create a rectangle, make sure that I don't click on one of those things it's trying to highlight. If I do, it's going to kind of constrain it to that. So this one is 2.5 by 1. Again, that is not in the right location, but we can tell that this edge of the rectangle to this edge is 0.34. So I'm going to constrain the dimension, this edge to this edge, and drag up. Try that again. It's 0.34. And that'll move it over. And then I know from the top to the top of the rectangle that I just made is 0.27. So I'll drag that over. That's 0.27. And now that hole is in the correct place. So the only thing we have left to do is to extrude that, again by cutting it in. And this time we want to cut it in at 0.57. So we'll come over here and change that to 0.57 and hit OK. And then the last thing we have to do is again fillet our corners or our edges. So I'll modify, create a fillet on these corners here. And I'll just move around my cube until I can kind of see what I need to fillet. Okay, so that is the passenger section of your Automoblocks vehicle. So you can save that in a folder and call that passenger section. And I want you to, after you get your parts saved, I want you to also export that as a PDF file. And so also name that passenger section, and that's what you will, this file, the actual PDF, is what you will submit on Echo. I tell you what, instead of submitting this as a PDF, if you will just open your snipping tool and take a screenshot of like the top front right of your Automoblocks car, and then also take a screenshot of the bottom back left so that I can see that you did all of it. So this would be the bottom back left. So I'm going to take another screenshot of that and then submit both of those pictures on the passenger section on Echo. And that's what I will need, is a picture of the two isometric views so that I can see both of those.